President Biden on the economy, touting efforts to release oil reserves globally and get grain out of Ukraine, the attempt there to help bring down fuel and food prices. It comes after a major sell-off on Wall Street, record-high gas prices, and decades-high inflation. But while the president is facing major criticism from Republicans for the state of the economy, he is now blaming Republicans, saying they are blocking measures that he says would bring prices down.
Under my plan for the economy, we made extraordinary progress. And we put America in a position to tackle a worldwide problem that's worse everywhere but here: inflation. It's sapping the strength of a lot of families. Republicans in Congress are doing everything they can to stop my plans to bring down costs on ordinary families. That's why my plan is not finished and why the results aren't finished either.
I want to bring in business correspondent Alexis Christoforous, joining me live now in studio, and Kenneth Moton in Washington for us for more on this. Kenneth, I want to start with you. When President Biden says Republicans in Congress have been blocking administration attempts to lower prices, what exactly does he mean?
Well, the president is talking about the work that he's done with the American Rescue Plan and the bipartisan infrastructure law as well. But he's essentially, in that speech to the AFL-CIO, a very friendly crowd, this very pro-union politician turned president, telling the members there what he's done for them. He's the president, but people in that room got to see Scranton Joe make an appearance, the man born in Pennsylvania, for being known for being a big supporter of labor unions and working families. It's important for him to continue to tell the American people how he and his administration are tackling inflation. The White House says it's President Biden's top priority. So the president saying also that there's more work to do to bring down these prices. You heard him use the line there that jobs are back, the prices are still too high, COVID is down, gas prices are up, because the very tough and ugly reality for this president is that he can talk about his credentials and his so-called accomplishments all he wants, but for the American people who are paying those higher prices, that is all they care about right now.
Alexis, what do you make of this criticism from the president? Because the Congress did pass his infrastructure bill. He touted that a lot today, but didn't pass that sort of second, that human infrastructure bill that he wanted. And that's a little bit about what he's talking about here when he says Republicans are blocking measures he thinks would help the economy. How much do both of those packages, the one that passed and measures and the one that didn't, how much would that help the state that we're in right now?
It's nice to think that we could build our way out of this problem, but we can't. I mean, Joe Biden is talking about long-term stimulants for the economy, things like infrastructure projects, which will put thousands of people to work, but they're not going to help bring prices down right now. And what we're looking at is very few tools in the toolbox left in the Biden administration to tackle these high inflation prices. And now we're looking to the Federal Reserve to do something. And we could be looking at a 0.75 percentage point rise in interest rates when the Fed finishes its meeting tomorrow. And that means higher rates on everything from credit card loans to auto loans and to, of course, mortgages.
The president today also touted wage growth. We are seeing prices rise, gas prices, food prices, et cetera, but we are also seeing wages rise. So can wages keep up?
We can't, and we're seeing that happen. I mean, if you adjust for wages for real inflation, we have got wages actually down 3% over the past year. So for all this talk about wages going up and companies needing to be competitive to have people either stay on the job or to attract new workers to the job, the sad fact is wages are not keeping up with inflation, and our purchasing power continues to get eaten up by the highest consumer prices we've seen in decades.
So what about deficit reduction? Because we've heard the president mention this before, and he mentioned it again today. Can that have some sort of backdoor, gains here with the economy?
I like how you're
pros that we're not seeing.
I like how you're trying, Diane. The fact of the matter is, no, that's the short answer. I mean, President Biden, in some ways, it sort of reeks of desperation on his part and panic on the part of the Federal Reserve, because no one anticipated inflation to be this high and to stick around this long. So they're doing all that they can now to try and have Americans believe they're doing all they can to bring it down. And the fact is, bringing down the deficit, while that is a positive, again, is a longer-term situation for the economy and not going to help us with prices now.
So, Kenneth, what kind of an impact is this all expected to have heading into the midterm elections?
A big impact, because we know that if Americans are still paying those high gas prices, high food prices in November, we already knew the Democrats were going to have a tough time because they are the party in the sitting president, and typically and historically that party has not done well for the midterms. They already had a tough go at it but we know that if those inflation numbers are still where they're at, or even slightly high, that this will be tough for the president. And because his agenda is riding on all of this and making sure that he has a majority there in Congress. And so that's why you'll see the president continue to tick through that list of things. Have already pointed out that what he said to the AFL-CIO was very campaign-like, and that is because we are just a few months away from the midterms. And so he gave details about what he's doing to try to bring down those gas prices and food prices, working closely with European partners to get 20 million tons of grain out of Ukraine, out of the breadbasket of the world. As Americans continue to deal with inflation, so will this White House, in a very political way.
All right, Kenneth, Moton, and Alexis, last question to you. What more can be done here? You know, we look at the president, we look at the Fed, we look at Congress and say, you know, fix this. What can they really do? I
think it's hard for Americans to sort of come to terms with the fact that there's not much that can be done. The Federal Reserve is going to be continuing to raise interest rates aggressively over the coming months. That means borrowing costs are going to get more expensive. And I think Americans just need to hunker down because it's going to be a tough time of it in the next few months. We could see the unemployment rate begin to rise, and we could see our economy dip into a recession.
All right. Alexis Christoforous, Kenneth Moton, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.